Hello, lovely witches. This is Dawn from Aurora Dawn. Thank you so much for stopping by my channel. I tried to do this video yesterday, but I was playing around with those masks and stuff, and it was hilarious. But it made the audio and video out of sync, so I had to throw it out and redo it. So here we are. Sorry about that, and I ran out of time. I couldn't redo it yesterday. So, but talking about the shadow work and my course Self Mastery for Witches, and I'm giving away the first 3 classes, and we got notified from US Cellular that any overages will not be charged, so you will be seeing more videos from me. That, and I have more time. I have an hour commute to work, and I'm working from home now, so I have 2 hours. It's just amazed. I'm just excited. So anyway, I want to make sure I cover everything. Yes. Oh, we are at 50 subscribers. Woo! I am so excited. And in another video, I mentioned that I was going to do a giveaway once we reach 50 subscribers, but right now it's probably not a good time. There's rumors of maybe even shutting down the postal service. I don't know if they will actually do that. To me, they're essential, just like supermarket and workers at a checkout and Target and stuff like that. They're essential. So I don't know if that'll actually happen, but I want to just be on the safe side, and just wait. So afterwards, after maybe in the summer or something like that, I will do that giveaway. Okay, let's get into this. This is shadow work. This is the very beginning foundation before you get into your subconscious icky stuff, negative, toxic stuff, because when you start digging around in that, if you don't have the right frame of mind or don't know how to deal with the emotions that come up with all of that stuff, you're gonna freak out and probably never touch shadow work again. So I want to make sure that you first have the right mindset, perceptions, ideas, understanding, so that when you respond to it, when you see this stuff coming up, you know how to respond. Okay, so let's get into this. I'm going to talk about being a victim, and we're still on the first class. I'm breaking them down into little smaller classes. So being a victim, basically what you're doing is you're giving your power away. So you might find yourself stuck, and you find yourself, in a situation where somebody is doing something to you, and it's making you uncomfortable. It's hurting you. It makes you feel bad. It makes you feel angry, hurt, frustrated, whatever it is that is you perceive as happening from other people to you or circumstances to you. And as long as you believe that you are a victim, you cannot change any of that until other people change. So if somebody is their behavior is causing you to feel hurt or to feel anger or frustration or disappointment or any of those emotions, you see that is coming from outside of yourself, and you want to attack that person to protect yourself, and that's perfectly normal, and that's perfectly okay, except your perception of the situation is, you're making me feel bad, and I want you to change, and so I'm going to attack you with my ego defenses, not with my grown-up defenses, with my ego defenses. I'm going to attack you to get you to change your behavior. Now, I don't know about anybody else, but if somebody is being disrespectful to me because they believe I am hurting them or doing something to them, well, let me say the average person, because I've already trained my mind to see when somebody is in their ego and they're hurting. But anybody else who has not done this work, if you're disrespectful to them and you tell them what an effing bitch they are, and all that kind of stuff, you're attacking them. They are going to attack back. They're not going to change their behavior. They see a reason now to continue attacking you. Get that? Really, really get that. So I'm not saying that nothing ever happens that is out of your control. That is usually the definition of a victim, is something is happening to me and I'm out of control. I can't control it. Therefore, I am a victim. Okay? You're receiving the attack, and therefore you are a victim. So what I'm asking you to do is put aside always seeing what's happening is coming from outside of you and you have no control over it. Okay? Because if you continue in that space, you will never be able to change what is happening to you, and you'll never get back to being happy and enjoying life. Okay? So what I want you to do is see yourself in a place of control. You have the power to change, and I'm going to explain a little bit more in just a minute. So, okay, so keep that in mind. I'm going to tell you a story. This is a made-up story just to help you understand what I'm trying to say. This is an example of adaptive and maladaptive. So, I keep getting this hair in my mouth. So, if you're adaptive, you're not playing the victim. Okay? If you're maladaptive, in other words, you're not able to see anything different than the other person has to change in order for you to be happy. The other person is attacking you, and you have to attack them to protect yourself. You're being maladaptive. So here's the story. There's a married couple, okay, and they have an agreement. When they get off work, the wife is going to cook dinner, and they're going to eat at 5 o'clock. The husband sometimes works overtime, and therefore doesn't get home in time to have dinner at 5 o'clock. So the wife has asked the husband, please call me if you know you're going to be working overtime. Seems reasonable, right? That's not too much to ask. So on occasion, he forgets. He gets so caught up in his work and he forgets. And he gets home and she's got the claws out. Because the message she's getting is that she's not important enough to pick up the phone and call. What she does is not valuable enough. He doesn't care about all the work she's doing, making dinner for him, and so sorry about that, he's being disrespectful, so she has to protect herself by attacking him. How can you not call me? What's wrong with you? Don't you care? Don't you love me? Don't you care about what I do? Do you not see the value in all the work I put into making dinner so you can have a hot meal when you get home? All right, that's reasonable, right? Anybody else would have done the same thing, except that she sees herself as a victim, and she is trying to get him to change so that she could be happy. Well, his behavior is making her unhappy. So instead, what she could do to be adaptive is she could tell him, okay, here's the deal. This is bumming me out. And, maybe you get so caught up in work that you can't, think about, before you know it, it's 5 o'clock and you haven't called me yet, or whatever. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Just make it a non-issue. This is the way it's going to be. Since I'm making dinner, I will make it so that it is ready at 5 o'clock. And if you're not here, you're on your own. And you come in and it's cold, you're going to have to heat it up. You're going to have to take care of the leftovers and put it away. That's the way it's going to be. Okay? So they come to an agreement. And if he's not okay with that, there's something wrong with him. He needs to be more respectful then. He really is got a problem with respect for what his wife does. But for the most part, I think he would be just fine with that. If if he forgets, then he's gonna have to deal with heating it up and leftovers being put away, and otherwise they would both work on cleaning up. That's what Skip and I do. I make the dinner, and we help clean it up. There's a lot sometimes, and so it's nice that we work together to clean it up. So anyway, and I love to cook, and he's not very good at cooking. So, but that's fun. I love to cook. I love doing it. So it works out great. But you gotta communicate in a way that is adaptive. Okay, if he's gonna be doing this on occasion, what can I do to continue to provide what I want to provide, which is a hot meal, but not get bummed out if he's not going to be there, if he doesn't call, if he doesn't let me know that he's going to be late so I can start dinner later. So it's important to be adaptive, because that means you are not a victim. You are finding another way around this. Now, I can't give you every scenario. There are scenarios where the other person is just really being a snit. All right, they're really not on board, and they're very egotistical, maybe even narcissistic. And if they really are a sociopath, and I've said this before, a sociopath or psychopath, it has been proven, and I get this from Dr. James Fallon. I get him mixed up with Jimmy Fallon, and that's the comedian. Dr. James Fallon has proven through his own research, through studying, he's a neurobiologist or neuroscientist or neuro something, and he was studying the brains of psychopaths who were locked up in prison, who had committed heinous crimes. And he found that psychopaths, sociopaths, they have a missing part in their brain that makes it impossible for them to feel empathy for other people. And there are varying degrees of that. So some are more extreme than others. And then if they were abused as children, sexually or physically or whatever, they tend to become really, they're criminal. They tend towards that. But just understand there are some people who are just plain old steeped so deep in their ego that they can't see anything else, and they are protecting themselves to the ends of the earth, and they will not say I'm sorry. They cannot allow themselves, for safety reasons. They've got to protect themselves. They're doing it to protect themselves, and to say I'm sorry means to admit that I'm not good enough. And so there could be that struggle there. So just keep in mind that some people are not able to really admit, they can't, their ego won't allow themselves unless they do some kind of therapy or get into shadow work or something where they are guided and they are helped in healing and taught how to heal this, which is what I do, by the way, just letting you know. Ooh. Okay. Oh, data usage alert, which I don't have to worry about. Okay, so let's keep going. So being a victim means your power is gone. So you take your power back by saying, I am in control here. How can I change things so everybody can be happy, or I can protect myself and remove myself? So there are 3 responses. And yeah, let's go over this. So there are 3 responses to situations. One is that you try and change things, and maybe you are successful at changing what's going on, like the woman who made dinner. She made an ultimatum. Well, sort of not. She made a change. Okay, this is the way it's going to be. If I'm going to make dinner, these are the rules. All right, so she made a change. 2 is to put up with it. 3 is to remove yourself. Okay, so, and I have come across lots and lots and lots and lots and lots of people who stay in a very toxic relationship where the other person is just not loving it all, and whatever reason, I'm sure there are a lot of shadow work that needs to be done. There's subconscious stuff that's coming up that they're protecting themselves from a perceived enemy. But really, when the bottom line, if they are not willing to make changes, then it may come to a point where you need to just remove yourself. And a lot of times the thinking is, well, I need to be here to help them change. I need to be here to support them. I started this relationship, I'm in this relationship, or whatever, I feel responsible in whatever way. And so I'm going to stay and stick it out because that's the good thing to do. That's the right thing to do. If you truly believe that, then you need to stay. Otherwise, you're going to struggle with trying to leave and not being able to let go. And it's going to just be maybe even worse. So it's best to do shadow work and then assess the situation. Once you understand yourself and become very conscious of who you are and why you respond the way that you do, why you behave the way that you do, then you can better understand whether you need to really be in this relationship or you need to remove yourself from the relationship. And the more you understand how the ego works, not only within yourself, but within others, it is easier to make that decision. Some people do need some support, and they do need somebody to help them. If you're not trained, then how are you going to help them? If you're not a therapist, and really what I was taught is I can't work with Skip. That is absolute no-no. I cannot work with my mom. I cannot work with anybody that is that close to me. It's just not a good idea. It usually does not end well. So I say things that help him understand where he's at, and I protect my boundary. There have been times where he snipped at me and what's going on? I could respond with my ego and attack him back, and I say, what's going on? Are you okay? Well, are you struggling with something? And we can talk it out, and we can do that. But for me to sit down and be his life coach, that's a big no-no. A therapist, big no-no. So really check into with yourself. And if you're staying in the relationship because you feel responsible, you feel obligated, you feel you need to be there to help them grow, rethink that, really, because are you qualified to do that? Are they responsive? If they're not responding and not wanting to even change or look at their stuff and make a change, then you're just going to be beating your head against the wall. So you got to take all of that into consideration, and I would recommend doing shadow work first, understand yourself first, and then go back to your relationship and see what's going on. See the truth of what is really happening in your relationship, okay? Oh yeah, I hope I covered everything. I think so. So victimhood is about the other person having to change in order for me to be happy, and you will forever lose your power to change if you stay in that place. So I'm telling you to let go of it, because there is a way to be in control without your ego. You can be in control, and you can come up with adaptive ways of working with the other person. Sometimes you have to let them vent. If they're steeped in their ego, they need to be heard. That's why they're so upset. Sometimes you just need to let them vent and then say, okay, let's talk about this. What I'm hearing is you're very upset and there's something going on. Let's talk about it so we can figure out a solution. Okay? So if you're a victim, you're going to see them attacking you, and you can't respond that way. You can't respond in a grown-up, mature, emotionally mature way and find a solution that makes both of you happy. Okay. So I hope you are all healthy. Please stay healthy. There's a virus out there that's going crazy, and we just need to stick with our cleaning and being safe and careful and safe and careful, just to get through this. Okay, we will. So thank you for watching. Thank you for your comments. Please leave me comments and do something today that makes you feel good and brings you joy, especially right now. If you're cooped up, you need to carve out some time to make yourself feel good. I love you all, and until next time, blessed be.